Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Cedar Run Decoys. Got a brand new decoy coming out. It's going to be the Big Honker collection. It's going to be a Mexican tree duck, or what they call that, a whistling tree duck.
Yep.
Will be the Tony Stanfield decoy.
Because he does like massage parlors in Mexico.
There
so
you go.
Makes sense.
It makes tons of sense. It just all goes together.
It just took me to connect the dots.
I appreciate it. Everybody else is going to be appreciative of you doing that. And his future wife listening to this is probably not going to be appreciative, whoever she is.
That's okay.
All right, I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver. And with us today from the Sacramento area, and I didn't get the town name, Mr. Casey Hartwell at Hunt Bums on IG. Casey, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Thanks again for having me on.
Yes, sir. How's life in California as a hunter?
It's tough. California is an interesting place as a hunter. I mean, it's one of the biggest paradoxes. You've got some of the best wild bird and deer habitat in the West, wrapped in some of the worst bureaucracy and politics. So it's definitely an interesting spot to be in as a hunter.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because everybody that we talk to from California, they talk about like how target rich of an environment that they live in, but it's just like you said, it's a political nightmare.
It is. It really is. And everything down to, I mean, you look at some of the crazy laws that California has passed, continues to try and pass, the lead ammo ban. I mean, just the restrictions and regulations. You need to be very well versed in what you're doing and where you're at in order to avoid fines and tickets down here. It's a very beautiful, for all the flack that California catches from the rest of the continental U.S. California is a beautiful state with a great diverse group of people, great hunting habitat. Our waterfowl season here is epic. It's second to none. I've been all over the world doing duck hunting, and California is one of those places that is special. It's got every single type of species you can imagine out here. The access is unparalleled if you're willing to put in the work. But yeah, it's a landmine sometimes. You got to watch where you're stepping. You got to watch what you're talking about, what you're wearing, where you go, all that, whatnot, in order to avoid conflict with some of the non-hunters and those not so well versed in what California has to offer.
Have you ever had an encounter with a crazy Karen?
I've never had one personally. I've seen them firsthand.
Yeah.
A couple years back, we had some people that were showing up to some of our local duck refuges, and they were protesting opening day out there, banging away on pots and pans and just being nuisances and whatnot. I've never personally had one, but I've seen them go down. I've heard stories about them. Every now and then I'll wear a camo hat or wear my Sitka hat when I'm going out to, before I got to the duck blind, I'll run into somebody at a gas station and get the side eye. But I mean, it's real out here. It definitely is real out here.
And like you said, I've never been to California, but everybody that I've ever talked to say it's just this most beautiful, beautiful place you can imagine. You got mountains, you got oceans, you got everything that you could ever want. Great hunting, great fishing is just right there at the tip of your fingertips.
Nobody told you that about Barstow.
This is true.
Barstow.
It's a shithole. There might be some good people there, but it's not a beautiful place to go to. Am I correct?
It's a nice little desert town. It's hot.
Barstow is?
It's very hot.
Terrible. There's nothing there.
They're like our Terralingua?
It's like a crappy side of a shitty town with nobody takes baths. There's homeless people everywhere. It's just not a place you want to go to. And I'm sure there are some areas in Barstow that's absolutely beautiful. But yes, California is a very pretty, diverse state. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful state. I feel sorry for conservatives that live in California. I do, because you're outnumbered. It ain't ever going to change. So I feel horrible for you. The waterfowl hunting out there is absolutely tremendous. As someone that's not from there, what I worry about is y'all's state government going in and pushing the hunter completely out. And I know
that's what you're seeing happen. I mean, you're seeing it happen every single day with some of these laws that are passing. California is one of the only states I know that has a background check required for ammunition. So every time you go buy ammo, you have to get a background check and you have to pay for that. It was $1 per box or per issue of running the background. Now it's $5. So it's 5x increase in a matter of a few years. So, I mean, California is effectively doing everything possible to make it as difficult as possible for hunters or even just shooting enthusiasts to succeed out here, to enjoy the sport and the hobby and the pastime they have grown up with. It's definitely an attack on your Second Amendment constitutional rights, and it's also an attack on your culture. And it's hard to deal with, but you find ways to work around it. You find ways to make it not so impactful on you.
Now, do you have to do it every time you buy it, or
Yes.
per box, like you said? So if you go in and buy
Every time.
but if you buy 5 boxes at one time, are you doing the $5 per, or you're just doing the $5 for the initial time?
You're doing $5 for the flat initial time.
Okay.
But that's why the guys from California, if you notice at Hunt here,
right.
take shells from here home all the time.
Yeah, they ship here.
Like, so if you buy your boss shot shells and you live in California, ship them to the big Honker Lodge, come and hunt, take them, and drive them back home with you when you go.
Just don't tell anybody.
Why? It's not against the law?
Hey, they'd find a way. They'd frown upon it. It is.
It is against the law?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, California bans you for bringing any ammunition from out of state across state lines.
there you
No
go,
shit.
Jeff.
Well, I didn't know that.
Is it a misdemeanor?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody from California has done that. It's all people from Oregon. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Arizona, it doesn't quite get across the California line.
So if you go to Nevada and buy shells, like you go to Tahoe all the time. So if you went to Nevada and you went to, and I'm assuming Nevada's gun laws are like most Western states, like ours, and you go in and you go to a gun shop and you buy 2 cases of waterfowl loads, you're not supposed to take them into California.
Correct. Yeah, you can't bring them across state lines. If you get caught, you get a fine, and it's a misdemeanor or a felony or something severe.
But
California will find a way to throw you in jail for it.
what is now the game warden pulls you over in California. Does he check your shit to make sure it's California bought shells too? Or can he tell?
I mean, it'd be hard to tell. California game wardens, the ones that I've dealt with, are usually pretty good folks. They're not looking to catch you up on shell violations. Usually, they're looking to see if you're out hunting, if you've got anything over the bag limit or anything that you're not supposed to have. But as far as going that deep to figure out where you bought your ammo from, I've never had one do that. Could it happen? Yeah, I guess hypothetically it could.
Well, it is California. Did the Klamath?
It is California.
Did the Klamath Basin? Is that all that water full now, or is y'all still in a drought?
California's constantly in a drought. We've been in a drought. I've been here my entire life, born and bred California native. We've been in a drought every year I've lived here. The Klamath Basin, the stuff going on up there over the past few seasons, it has improved slightly, but it's devastating. I mean, I've hunted Klamath a couple years back. It's changed quite a bit. The water issues are real in California. They are definitely real in California.
And fixable.
They are fixable. It just comes down to better management, better resource management, but also awareness in education. I think that the general population here in California is so disconnected from what's really happening with their state and with the ecosystem here and the management of that ecosystem. If people really understood how mismanaged our resources are, they would probably be up in arms about it and be more talked about. We opened up earlier talking about how California is a beautiful state. It's gorgeous here. We have some of the best stuff, some of the best access, some of the most beautiful scenery. It's just not well managed or run. And I think that the majority of the folks that live in California really have no concept of how mismanaged it is.
No, they don't care because it's not their lifestyle. It's like going to New York City.
True.
You go to a borough in New York City and you talk about hunting rights or the cost of gasoline. They're like, well, we don't drive a car. We don't hunt, so we don't care.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's your problem in California. I've never understood why California has not put in desalination plants. All up and down the coast, you got your water issues, and then you wouldn't have to take all the water from the lakes. You got your water out there, and I've never understood. Plus, you could ship it out to where the almond farms are taking all the money in all the water in the Sacramento Valley, and that way people can start growing vegetables and stuff again, too.
Yeah, no, I get you there. And that's been a topic of conversation for a lot of years in California is desalination. And it's just so expensive. It's pricey. And you factor in that California wants to go, more green. They want to get rid of gasoline powered vehicles and generators and whatnot. We've got 2 of the biggest refineries in California closing down. They just don't have the appetite for anything that's going to produce that kind of power and those emissions. So it's a balancing act, cost versus also political stance.
Yeah, the political stance is what's killing you. The Klamath River Basin, one of the most famous places to waterfowl hunt in the world. There's no doubt about it. A lot of private clubs there. I'm assuming, is that correct? Oh, yeah. Do the private clubs?
There's a lot of clubs. Yeah.
Do they find a way to get water when no one else was getting water?
Yeah, they're paying for it though. I mean, you're getting it at a premium charge. It's the same for all the duck clubs out here. I'm a member of a club here in Sacramento area that's got multiple blinds all throughout the Sacramento Valley and the Central Valley. and you're paying a premium for water. It's not cheap to get it. And, rain wise, we talk about California's always in a drought. When we do get rain, it rains good, but that's hit or miss. So you're definitely relying on those pumps to pump everything out and get it ready for the season. So you're paying an absolute premium for it.
Even in the Sacramento Valley, y'all don't get the rain.
No, when we get some. Last year was a pretty good, pretty wet winter, but it's hit or miss. You can't guarantee it. You can't plan on it, and especially with waterfowl season here opening up in October, you're not getting any of those good solid rains until November, December, January timeframe. So you're definitely pumping up. You're flooding those rice fields for the opening day.
I had read the other day that it's the Imperial Valley is south. That's west of San Diego, correct? I had read
Correct. Yeah, it's
that
further south.
they had done something to that lake, and now it's holding water again.
Oh, I hadn't heard about that one yet.
I just read about it the other day and was talking about how it might come. It might come back more. Well, that's a big waterfowl destination when it's got water in it for where they stay.
Yeah, I know the Salton Sea area is pretty big. I haven't hunted much down in the south, but I know that they definitely are far more impacted by water than we are up here in the north.
Right, and they would supposedly water had filled up, or they had done. I wish I could think of what I was reading, and I don't even remember where I was reading it, but it was talking about that Salton Sea was holding more water again. That's kind of a weird area down there. It kind of reminds me of something that was plucked out of the 1950s and just left.
That's a good way of describing it.
I mean, it's just such a. Are you looking it up, Andy?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Anyways, it was talking about the not bird. It wasn't about a hunting deal. It was just talking about how the water there. Now y'all are on a 7-bird limit in California, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And y'all can kill. Are y'all going to have 3 pintails this year?
Finally, yeah, 3 pintails this year. Pintails are probably one of the most, at least the areas that I hunt in, are one of the most predominant species. So, early morning, you're knocking down your one sprig, and it's like, okay, don't shoot anymore. Just make sure you're checking what the species is before you pull the trigger. But yeah, so we're at 3 this year. It'll be great. Like I said, pintails are the most predominant species in the areas I hunt at, so it's going to be a fantastic season. We get just giant balls of pintail flying over our blinds. It's pretty crazy.
And mostly all drakes.
We do get a lot of bull sprig. We get I'd probably say a fair amount of bull sprig over there. Yeah.
We'll have pintails here, and some days you won't even see a hen. It's all drakes. It's crazy. The hen numbers are way down. Well, the whole species is down, but I know the hen numbers are down. I can't believe if we went to 3. I was hoping we'd just go to 2. But if we're going to go to 3, I wish they'd make it where you can't shoot hens. And
That's fair.
And I'm completely against them letting them shoot 8 pintails in Canada. If you can't tell what it is, and I said, well, you can't tell. Well, tough, don't shoot the ducks then. But
you wouldn't be able to shoot any ducks.
Well, it's tough.
They're all brown.
Well, you can tell the difference between a mallard and a pintail, though. You shouldn't be able to shoot pintails in Canada and shoot 8 of them. I'm sorry. If you're a Canadian hunter and that bothers you, you're an American going up there. I've been up there to hunt too, and I want to pull the trigger just like everyone else does. If you want to do the greater good of the pintail, we shouldn't be shooting freaking 8 pintails in Canada. You don't agree with that, Andy? Or are you just going to set the fence on this one?
You're just like, can't shoot them if they're brown.
Well, you can't tell. So I just wish they would take out the pintails. I wish female pintails would be completely out of the deal where you can't shoot them at all.
I get that, but they're all brown up there.
Well, then you shouldn't be shooting ducks then.
Okay.
Or don't shoot pintails then.
Okay.
You can. You're all right when you go hunt in September up there. The ducks are. It's hard to tell the differentiate between the two. But maybe just not shoot pintails in Canada then. No. But in America, we should have not shoot any hens, especially if the numbers are having the problems on. So, do you shoot brant where you're at in California?
You can get some coastal brant. I personally don't. I stick to just the main waterfowl species. We've got a ton of mallards. We've got a lot of sprig. We have a plethora of spoonies out here, and a good amount of teal as well. So I stick to just the basic bag. I don't really go after any mergansers or brant or any of that whatnot. We're getting a lot of geese in the past. I would say past 5 to 7 years. This California Central Valley has just been flooded with snow geese. We get a lot of specks out here too, but the snow geese are just taking over in mass. I've got videos of just tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of snow geese just flying over all the time. It's definitely becoming quite more prevalent than ducks. So you're seeing a lot of guys switch their setups from a primarily duck spread to a goose spread. You're getting a lot of guys doing a lot of dry field hunts and dry field layout setups too now. So it's a nice change. But the geese are definitely pushing the ducks out of the valley.
I had a guy hunt with us a couple years ago, and he was from San Francisco. He hunted in the San Francisco Bay, and he hunted in the water at the bay. Yeah. And all I could think about was getting eaten by a fucking great white shark. I thought, there's no way.
Yeah, San Francisco's got, I mean, there's a lot of guys that hunt the bay out there, or the after bay as well, too. They've got a great refuge out there, Grizzly Island. A guy that writes for me, a really very, very good friend of mine, Matt Hedden, writes for me on Hunt Bums. He lives out in San Francisco, and him and another guy that write for me for Hunt Bums, his name is DJ. Both of them are Bay Area guys, and for years they've been trying to get me to go check out Grizzly Island. And if you research Grizzly Island, you'll understand why I was so hesitant to go there. It's kind of a beast. It's one of those places where the ground is uneven. It's got cracks in the ground. You're walking out. There's a ton of people, so it's a foot race everywhere you're going. And if you make the wrong step, you're going under. The chances of you going under forever are pretty high. So it's a hairy experience. But yeah, I mean, San Francisco's got a lot of great hunting opportunities if you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to deal with the rigmarole and all the people that are out there trying to compete with you. It's a great area. But yeah, hunting the big water out there could be somewhat sketch, especially when the weather picks up.
Now, at this Grizzly Island, it's mainly ducks, I guess, or are there geese there also?
Mainly ducks. They get geese every now and then, but mainly ducks. Yeah, it's an interesting spot. Let's put it that way.
And it's all like I'm looking at pictures of it right now. It's just all boggy and everything.
It's boggy. It's very brackish water. So I mean, it's brutal on your gear. The ground is probably the biggest issue. You can't see anything. I mean, the water is definitely not clear by any means. So you're constantly toeing the line, figuring out where you're stepping at, making sure you're not stepping in a hole. And these holes are deep, and like you will disappear with everything you've got on your back, and also in your sled taking you down too. So it's a sketch experience, but guys do it, guys love it. It's definitely one of those get out there and try at one time places. It took me years to do it. I'm a club guy. I like hunting my duck clubs. I grew up hunting refuges, and I still do hunt refuges. I go to Calusa and Delavan quite a bit. Calusa is my home refuge, but those places are very different than Grizzly Island, and I've definitely learned to respect Grizzly Island over the years a little bit more. And being able to hunt there in the past season was great, but we'll see if I go back anytime soon or not.
Yeah, I think I'd be out on that. I like my ground to be sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't even like bogging down mid shin, much less everything's going in.
I always wonder about in California too. Right. If you ride around with the truck with your decoys and shit, all the bunny huggers out there, do they get on your ass, or do they kind of leave you alone?
They kind of leave you alone. I think, most of the people are not really sure what you got in the back of your truck if they're seeing decoys. Like, oh, what are those plastic ducks? What are they doing? I think that most people leave you alone. The one thing you got to worry about is our transient and homeless populations jacking all your shit out of the back of the truck. So you got to make sure that you park somewhere where you can watch your truck if you're going in to grab a bite to eat or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, most people are not just really aware of what kind of tools we're hauling around in the back of our trucks. So they see decoys or they see gun bags. They're not really going to ask you anything. They might look at you weird and give you a side eye, but they're not going to confront you about it.
Even in the Sacramento Valley, you have to worry about all that shit outside of Sacramento, because I drove all the way up to Brookings, Oregon, and everywhere along the coast we were, every small town, there was homeless people, but it was along the coast. So even in the more conservative red areas, you still deal with that shit?
I mean, Sacramento is definitely not conservative, definitely not red. It's probably the bluest of the blue you can get.
Right.
So we've got homeless here all over the place. So even where I'm at, Elk Grove, which is a suburb about 10 minutes south of downtown Sacramento, we've got homeless all over our area. You go into Sacramento downtown proper, and you got homeless everywhere. You go to San Francisco, and it's just overflowing with homeless and drugs. So I mean, California definitely has a problem they need to address. And it does have some impact. I mean, I personally know some hunters have had stuff stolen out of their vehicles, and you're starting to see some of this homelessness spread up into these more rural areas like Calusa, Maxwell, and Chico. You're seeing it spread up there. So guys rolling around with a truck full of decoys and a jet sled full of, gear. You got to be cautious where you're parking your stuff at. Otherwise, you're going to get some stuff swiped and ripped off.
I actually, when I was in San Francisco, I felt like I was in a foreign country. I'm not going to lie.
It is.
I didn't feel like I could. I didn't feel like if I called 911, I was. And I'm sure if you call 911, you might get some help. But just the same thing that I would think if I was in a foreign country, if you get help, you can't call and get help. We take that for granted where we live. But I figured when you got them small towns outside of the ocean and stuff, out in the middle of nowhere, that it would be about the same as being in West Texas. People watch their stuff and the neighbors. Yeah. It's just, but in San Francisco, I damn sure did not feel that way. I felt like I was in a foreign country.
Yeah, San Francisco is a beautiful place. I've spent a lot of time there over the years. It's an hour and a half from where I'm at, so it's an easy, quick trip. I go down there for business quite a bit. I think that over the past 20 years, San Francisco has definitely changed. It's definitely, you got to be careful. You have to watch where you're going. There are certain areas in San Francisco that you just don't go to. The Tenderloin, for example, you just avoid that at all costs. You don't go there.
The what?
The Tenderloin area. It's notorious for being just open air drug markets and just a lot of homeless and transient populations.
That's mind-baffling.
I'm sure if you Google it, you can find it.
I mean, every big city's got places you don't want to go. Every big city does. But an open air drug market, that just, God almighty, and just crazy how we have, it's just nuts how far left California is on when they're thinking on so much stuff. And it is. Portland's the same way, in Seattle.
San Francisco's got a whole, San Francisco's got a whole app. I mean, people make fun of it, but it's a real app where you can track all the poop in the streets.
They call it the L's.
The L's.
The L's, the loin. The TL.
But everywhere we would go, people's like, listen, don't do this or don't do that. And I'm like, well, why don't you call the fucking cops if they do shit? Well, they won't show up or they won't do nothing. I'm like, I told Michelle, so we got to get out of here because someone tries to jack us. And I had a gun. I took a gun with me, and it was in her Tahoe.
Smart.
And I told her, I said, I'd shoot somebody if they tried to steal my shit or hurt me, and then I would get in trouble for shooting them because I'd have a gun illegal in California. And now in Texas, if in Texas or most everywhere you go, police officers all feel about the same way. But I didn't even know in California if the police officers were going to be pretty conservative people like we were.
I think you get a mix. I've ran my fair share of law enforcement over the years. I think you get a mix of people. When like I carry every day out here, and getting a CCW and getting permit and licenses is its own rigmarole you have to go through for California. So when you get pulled over by a police officer, you have to inform them that I'm carrying all that whatnot. You get a very mixed vibe. So in the more urban areas like where I'm at, the cops are like, lock down. Let me see everything you got. Let me check out your permit, your paperwork. Let me see your firearm, make sure it lines up with all the serial numbers, all that whatnot. But when you get out to the more rural areas, it's more low key, more relaxed because they're more familiar with it. So it's definitely a mixture of experiences. I would say in an area like San Francisco, you're probably not going to have the best experience if you get into if you need some law enforcement help and you have a gun on you, you're probably not going to have the best experience. But that's just me being
no, but that's the way it is in California. I met a Chinese police officer at Fenway Park last week and talked to him for 20 minutes. That some bitch could have lived in Knox City, Texas. He was just right off the bat, the way he'd talk. And then the guy that came up with him was a Puerto Rican cop. He's the same way too. They're police officers, act just like police officers do anywhere else I've been. And then I got in California and I'm like, oh shit, you better watch these commies.
Yeah, we know it.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
I noticed that we call it a CHL here, concealed handgun license. That is a get out of jail free card for speeding.
Oh, you screwed
really?
yourself.
I have, yeah. You hand them that. You're like, listen, I'm a good guy. I'm pro.
They appreciate that.
They do, but and I'm respectful to the.
You don't get pulled over that often.
I got pulled over twice in the last 2 months. I did.
Proud of you.
Handed them that, but both times we're coming back from vacation, and that I use that as a pity card.
I'm wore out.
First time got pulled over. You got a reason for speeding today, Mr. Shaver. I've been at Disney World for a week, and I am an hour away from home. I understand. Let me run everything, make sure you're all good, get you out of here in no time. Second time, same exact thing. What are you speeding for today? I've been in Costa Rica for a week. Totally understandable. Let me get you out of here in no time. So both times, just a verbal warning.
So now if you get pulled over, tell me you've been on vacation for a week.
That's all you got to do. Do that. Hand them your CHL. You're good to go.
Must be nice to be able to afford to go to Costa Rica, asshole. If I can slow your ass down, that's what's going to happen to somebody else.
Right? The first time was a motorcycle cop.
Those guys are usually dicks.
There was no fluff about him. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, I'm getting a ticket. Because it was like, I handed him everything, told him what was going on. And he's like, all right, I'll be right back. And I looked at Jesse and I was like, I'm getting a ticket. She's like, you definitely
Was
are.
this in Wichita?
Yeah.
Them guys are ticket riders too. They're motorcycle cops.
And he came back and he said, glad you're back home. Slow it down. I was like, whoa,
Thank God.
this was a little bonus right here.
What? Up until recently, you could still knock on doors in the Midwest at a lot of places and get on to hunt. It's getting harder and harder and harder. I mean, even the places, Kansas, it don't matter where you're at now. You used to be able to get on doors. You can't hardly do that now. In California, do you knock on doors and stuff, or is that almost impossible?
It's almost impossible. I mean, the biggest thing in California is liability issues. So even like the duck clubs I'm a part of, the paperwork that you're filling out to be on the lease is pretty ridiculous. So door knocking is really not a thing. I mean, it happens. It does happen. I've personally done it. I send mail, so I'll mail somebody a letter or a gift basket saying, "Hey, I saw your property. Would it be possible to get on for dove season or whatever for a month? Here's a gift basket. Here's my number, email, shoot me a call." But I mean, the stuff that you guys do in the Midwest or the back east, where you're knocking on doors, going to fields, you're seeing birds on fields, and figuring out who the landowner is and going to knock on their doors, that doesn't happen out here. It's just landowners are super sketch on liability, and they don't want to assume any risk of what you're going to do on their property if you hurt yourself and you're going to sue them. It's just not worth it for them. So it's few and far between. It does happen, but it's few and far between. Definitely not as prevalent as what you guys are probably used to.
The bad thing is they probably gotten sued, or they know somebody that, they let a hunter on and something happened, and then they get sued and out there. So it probably comes from a horror story.
That's happened to more and more.
Probably.
I mean, it's happened more and more.
Yeah.
I've got one of my landowners called me, or farmers called me there, and he's a landowner too. And he's like, if you can find out whoever invented OnX, you give me his number, I'm going to go see his ass. He goes, I am so sick and tired of people calling me, because they get calls all the time. And we have an unwritten code. Most all of your transactions, you deal with the farmer, not the landowner. But every place is different. So one outfitter leases the land off of a farmer, then another outfitter calls the landowner, and they get in, and then it turns into a big hoo-ha over that stuff. So I was wondering in California, because y'all have so much population, and I know you have a big number of hunters, because California is a great hunting state. We have clients that come there, great people.
Sure.
They're just hard for them to get on out there. And that's what I was wondering. I figured if there was a place that you could knock on a door that 15 guys have been there before you on every time you go to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think door knocking is just really not prevalent. You talk about California being such a diverse landscape with a lot of hunting opportunities. Public land really it's very, very accessible out here. I mean, I think in the areas that I hunt, D3 through 5, so our zones in Northern California are zoned out by section. The area that I hunt at encompasses like Tahoe National Forest or El Dorado National Forest, and that's like 1.5 million acres of land. So, I mean, between public land, BLM, all that whatnot, you got 1.5 million acres of land that you can get out on. So the public land really is the proving ground for hunters in California. It teaches you that resilience, the tactics, but the pressure is real. And when, opening morning of deer season for rifle season out here, the zone that I hunt in sells I want to say it's like 70,000 tags, and you got 70,000 dudes out there driving around, road hunting in Tahoe and El Dorado. You got to figure out a way to get away from these guys. And that's where that early season scouting work takes place. And you put in the work. You earn every single hunt here on public ground. You earn every single experience. You got to get off the roads. You got to get back in deep. You're doing, 5, 7, 10-mile hikes one way in just to get away from these guys and get away from the pressured zones. And if you're willing to put the work in, you're going to get the rewards, and you're gonna, every season you're going to fill that tag time and time again. If you're willing to go the distance and you're willing to put in that preseason scouting, you're willing to not take the easy route and stick to road hunting. You're willing to get boots on the ground and go deep and go fast. You can get some rewarding experiences, but the pressure is real. 1.5 million acres sounds like a lot, which it is, but when everyone's concentrated on certain areas, it becomes an issue.
Was some of this land, was it subject to that public land sale that was floating around a month or so ago?
None of the ones that I know of, but I didn't go that far into it to figure it out. But
Right.
I would imagine that some of it might have been subject to it, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
Yeah.
Did you ever hunt around the Clear Lake area?
Not hunted. I've been to Clear Lake a few times, but I've not hunted the area. No.
I took the road from Sacramento towards Clear Lake, and then we went up through the redwood forest and stuff. But between Clear Lake and the Sacramento, we went through an area, and I don't know if it was rice fields or what it was, but it was big flooded fields everywhere. I don't know if it was rainwater, whatever it was. There was ducks everywhere. And I think some of those areas were public land. But I couldn't imagine that now in the hunters it must be. Is it first come, first serve, or do you have to check in first, or is every one of them different?
So every one of them's different. So for the refuges in the area that I'm at, so the Sacramento complex is a very large hunting complex. You got Sacramento Refuge, you got Delvin, Calusa, a couple others mixed in there. You've got a lot of refuge access within 2 hours of Sacramento proper. Each of the refuges runs kind of their own unique operation, but they have the basic foundations of reservations. You put it in for a reservation at the start of the season or 2 weeks before the date that you want to draw. You can put in for a reservation, a lottery type reservation. Or you can do a lotto where you show up the night before for hunting. So say, for example, you want to hunt Saturday morning. You're showing up Friday night and you're pulling a number and filling out your card, and they do a draw at like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., and you're able to figure out what number in that lotto you're at. So you can figure out, usually number 1 through 30 is good to get in on this refuge. If I've got over this number, I'm not going to get in, so I have to sweat line it. And then you get the sweat line. So if you don't get a good reservation or a good lotto, you can sweat line and come in first come, first serve, like waiting game type deal. There's a variety of ways to do it, but each of the refuges kind of runs their own operation with like the basic foundations. But you gotta, like I said, California's complex. You gotta make sure that you're up to date on everything and all the requirements and necessities for each of these public land properties you're trying to access to figure out if you're going to be able to get in or not.
What time do you have to get in line?
So for a lotto draw, usually the windows open up at 6 p.m. They do a draw between 8 and 9 p.m. And then you got to be back that morning. So the next morning, you're probably back there about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
That's not as bad. Some
if not
places,
earlier.
I know guys are getting in line at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. There's a lake in East Texas.
Oh, sure.
That's public hunting. And if you get your blind, you can hunt. You can build a blind, but you can't, it's not yours. So if someone else gets in your blind, it's just tough shit. The guys were getting homeless people in Fort Dallas, and they were paying them $100 to sit in the blind all night and sleep there. And then they would come pulling in at 6 a.m, and they'd take the bum to the boat dock, and then they'd leave him there, and then they would hunt. I thought, that's pretty damn smart.
Oh, yeah.
Creating jobs.
Be pissed if somebody rolled up and gave him $200 for it.
Yeah, to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, we give you $200 to leave. Okay.
Sounds good. Just make sure I get back to the boat dock.
Yep. You take me to the boat dock right now.
It's yours.
Yeah, there's refuges here, like that Grizzly Island one I was telling you guys about. Grizzly Island is one of the refuges where you can do first come, first serve. Gray Lodge is another huge refuge up here, first come, first serve. So guys, come opening day, opening day will be Saturday. You got people getting in line on Tuesday.
Oh, God.
And they're just sleeping in their truck for the entire week, So, some of these guys are hardcore. Some of them are like legit hardcore dudes that will spend days on end trying to get into a spot, not knowing what it's going to produce. It's opener. You have no idea what's going on. You don't even know if the fields are flooded or not. So it's just a different breed of guys out here that do this stuff. It's fun though.
Do y'all have Indian land or Native American land or reservations, wherever you call it? Because the reason I ask this, I got a buddy of mine that hunts in the Midwest. I'm not going to say what state it is, but he hunts Indian land. and he pays like $200 a year to be part of their hunting. He can hunt on this great and tons of land. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want a bunch of other people going to do it. But do y'all have that in California where the Indians can lease you the land out separate on their places?
I've heard of that. I've not experienced it firsthand, so I couldn't, speak from an experience standpoint. I've heard that they do that. It sounds awesome. I think it would be great to do. We do have a lot of the tribes around here, so I mean, it would make sense for them to have that type of business going. I've never personally done it though.
Yeah, 'cause it was a hell of a deal. I was like, somebody, how much you pay? And he told me, I was like, God, that's cheap. He said, yeah, and there's not many people know about it.
They do now. They're going to start asking.
Well, they can call tech their local Indian tribe and find out where.
Yeah. It's all.
You know how
happening.
you ruined all that hunting in Alamosa, Colorado?
You ruined it for the entire nation.
No, I didn't. I didn't say anything.
Anywhere it's got Indian land, people are going to start calling.
Knock themselves out.
Well,
Sounds like you picked up a sponsorship for some casinos.
Right,
Yeah, that's right.
right. Yeah, boy, that'd be a bad deal for Jeff.
Not if they pay me enough.
Not good. So tell me about hunt bums. How'd this get started?
Oh man, it started kind of just as a passion project. It was I started in 2020, so in the midst of all the COVID-19 insanity, I got bored, and I was like, "Hey, what can I do to kind of cure some of my boredom here?" I enjoy hunting. I've been a lifelong hunter. My family's background has always been in hunting and whatnot in California. What can I do to kind of pair my passion for hunting with my background in marketing? So I'm a marketing guy by trade. I run a consultancy. What can I do to marry these two together and kind of, have a passion project that I can enjoy and also gets me out there, gets me access to new people, new places, new insights, new experiences. So during the pandemic, I started Hunt Bums, launched in 2020. So right during everything going down, and it kind of just took off from there. It's been one hell of a ride. It's been a journey. I have met some of the most amazing people, some of the closest friends I've developed over the past 5 years with Hunt Bums. And I've met some guys from across the United States that just are like, dude, I love what you're doing. I think this is great. I would love to be a part of it. So I've got guys from the East Coast all the way across the United States to here in California and the West Coast that are contributors for Hunt Bums. Guys that fly out, we'll meet up and go duck hunting for a weekend, or I'll go see them wherever they're at. It's just kind of been a fun passion project that's turned into something that's worthwhile that I still do to this day. I mean, one of the biggest differentiators about Hunt Bums is it's not monetized. Mm-hmm. I don't make any money from ad revenue or any of that whatnot. I haven't opened it up to that avenue yet. And I think that's what makes it so pure and so real, is that we're not bought and paid for. All the gear that we review, everything is purchased on our own dime. So we're not getting it from manufacturers directly. We do have some deals in the works with some of the brands right now that are going to evolve, but we're not being incentivized to provide positive reviews. We are literally giving the real experiences that we have with this gear that we're using in the field. And the greatest thing for me with Hunt Bums is that it allows me to get access to people and educate people about hunting and get new blood into our sport. And that's kind of my biggest purpose with Hunt Bums, is to make sure that we're outfitting the next generation with enough knowledge and insights to be able to carry on this tradition and see it thrive and make sure that hunting has a future in America, especially where I'm at in California. I mean, we're definitely a very small percent of the population. So I want to make sure that our heritage continues to thrive and has an opportunity to grow amongst this younger generation, or even these adults that necessarily might not have had hunting exposure through their life. They want to get into it now as an adult, being able to lower that barrier of entry and make it more easy to understand and experience, and connect them with a mentor, or just provide guidance and insight overall.
And when you first started it, was it just going to be like hunting blogs, or did you always kind of envision it as this gear review and just everything that it has turned into?
Initially when I started, I was just going to call it Duck Bums. I was like, hey, I'm a duck hunter by I would say 99% of the hunting I do is waterfowl related. So Duck Bums was kind of, let's go with that. And then I was like, but it's missing out on such a wide swath of hunting. Let's just call it Hunt Bums. It started out as kind of just a way to get my ideas out there and share my insight, my experience, and my knowledge. And it's blossomed into something so much more. It's blossomed into kind of a shared knowledge hub almost. All of my guys that write for Hunt Bums all have very individual, unique personalities, but they all have very individual, unique experiences, and they provide pieces of the hunting journey and of the education that really make us collectively a better whole for everyone. I provide certain insights and certain experiences. I've got a guy in Idaho, Jason Allen, who is just, one of my best friends in the world. He has a very different style of hunting and a very different mentality around it. So it gives the readers and our audience multiple perspectives. So looking at it from multiple areas.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Get a lot of eyes looking at it, or just, different perspectives. Because every writer is going to bring something just a little bit different to the readers.
Absolutely. And everyone brings their own perspective and insights. And, what I care about, what I find valuable in the gear that I use, you might not. You might find it you might have a different take on it. So I think getting all those different perspectives into one place and creating this knowledge hub like we've done with Hunt Bums, it's benefited our audience. I get comments all the time, people sending me messages and emails about, hey, the way that you mentioned this or the way that you wrote this up, I didn't even think about that. So it's just, I enjoy doing Hunt Bums because it provides me with access to meeting new people and opening their eyes up to new opportunities or new ways of doing things. But I also learn new things as well. So, I'm an expert in certain areas, but I want to absorb as much knowledge as I possibly can. And I've been able to do that through Hunt Bums by working with members of our community and just getting their insights and their tips and tricks and their feedback. I've become a better hunter, a better writer, and more of I appreciate conservation and the outdoors much more so now.
Well, y'all were locked down for a long time too, so you probably had a lot of time to think about Hunt Bums.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of time to kick around ideations around it. I'll tell you, launching a business during the pandemic was seriously fun, but also like, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
It was a wild ride.
What were the boat docks like whenever COVID was going on? Were y'all fully masked up even at the boat launches and everything?
Dude, California was wild, man. I mean, they had everything on lockdown. Like, if you weren't wearing a mask or you didn't have paperwork to travel, it was nuts, dude. It was nuts. As far as like the boat launches, it was kind of a hit or miss. You had guys that were wearing masks, and guys that were kind of like, screw this, I'm not wearing a mask. You can't tell me what to do. So it's definitely hit or miss. I would say that we were locked down real hard here. That's for sure. That's an understatement. And it was definitely an eye-opening experience of, building trust in those that are leading you. And if that trust really exists anymore, I don't know.
It doesn't. It's gone forever. That's I tell you what though, I was all for the 2 weeks to stop the spread. I loved it.
Sure.
I thought it was a great idea. Let's get ahead of it. Just shut everything down for 2 weeks and then we'll go back to normal.
After 4 months, that was you?
Yep.
and then it just kept going on. It's like we're not getting ahead of this thing. We gotta get back to just living. And I remember just the fear that was over everything. You'd go to Walmart or whatever, and you're wiping down the push cart and the spinach that you're putting in.
Longest spring break in the history of kids' schools.
Wiping down the gas nozzle to pump gas. Like, it was wild.
Ours was so...
we were packages with Lysol.
Yeah. Just leave it outside, and we'll get to it in a minute.
Our life was different because we went through about 4 weeks of it. And that was it for us out here. We were not wearing masks anymore. You go to the grocery, it was pretty normal. I mean, you'd have to wear a mask sometimes and shit, but it was just so different. Then when you would go to a blue state or somewhere, you're like, wow.
Or just a city. I mean, even just
Dallas was different.
The cities around us, we're very rural where we are, but like you would just go, like it's an hour to a Walmart here. So you just go to get groceries or whatever. And just the differences in a town of 1,200 into a town of 100,000, and people start looking at you weird if you don't have that mask fully over your nose. You got to have it over your nose or it doesn't count. But I don't know, call me a sheep or whatever, but I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Just shut everything down and we'll figure this out in 2 weeks.
It's because what we didn't know at the time, we thought we were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
If they come on the TV today and say we need you to shut down for 2 weeks, people say, screw you, we ain't doing shit.
Yeah, agreed.
As an adult, it was kind of like watching the ticker for a school snow day.
Yeah.
Like, are we really going to shut everything down? Like, we don't got to go to work tomorrow? Is this really about to happen?
I remember tornado chasing that spring, and we'd be like, is there a place to eat in that town?
Right.
You know, and then you'd be like, well, I don't even know if they're open or not. And it was hard. Mm-hmm. You know, you get at a gas station, you could get gas. What's crazy is we as Americans were stupid enough to realize, or not realize, that for some reason going to Walmart was okay or Home Depot, but your local lumber yard had to shut down. Shit like that. That's just, or you needed to wear a mask to your table, but once you got to the table, you could take your mask off. That's one smart ass virus that knows you're walking through a restaurant, not sitting down, because it's been programmed not to attack you if you're sitting and eating a meal.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine California that whole year that y'all dealt with that shit.
Well, we were talking, I was at jiu-jitsu a couple days ago, and like they were talking about the jiu-jitsu tournaments during COVID. You got to wear a mask at weigh-in. You got to wear a mask in the bullpen. And then when you go to wrestle or whatever, mask can come off. Like you're standing right next to your opponent the whole time in the bullpen, and that's the only person that's next to you, but you got to wear a mask then. But when you get on the mats, you can breathe on each other, sweat on each other, and hope that you don't die. It just fucking makes no sense. No sense at all.
No.
Hell of a time to be alive.
Oh, my God.
I hope we all look back on that with shame.
Yeah. I think that's about all we can do now. They tricked us. They tricked us. So how, like, when did things start to get back to normal for you in California with COVID? Was it like 2 years later, 3 years later?
It's probably 3 years later. I mean, COVID was they locked everything down here. They shut down schools. It was great there was no traffic. That was a nice aspect of it. But they went pretty crazy here. Our kids didn't get back into school till much later than the rest of the nation, from what I recall and from what I remember reading. They went pretty hard. They definitely went pretty hard. I mean, my wife at the time she worked in banking and finance, so she was an essential worker. They would say people had to have paperwork to drive. She had to have paperwork that if she got pulled over on the road, she had to show them that, hey, like I'm going to my office to do essential work. So like it was a wild time. Definitely a wild time. California took it to the extreme.
Did it bother y'all when y'all would look on TV or something, you'd see people like in Texas just being normal again?
It was like, why? I guess it not necessarily bothered, but it was like, damn, like people are common sense at least prevails there. I wish we had common sense here.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy when my first time experiencing that, we was at Chicago at O'Hare Airport. Took off of Dallas, all the restaurants were open. We landed in O'Hare, and it was like being in communist Russia. The restaurants were all boarded up. They kept coming on, keep your face mask on. If you've got a splash mask, we prefer that. Ear coverings, blah, blah. I'm like, what the hell happened? I mean, we landed in the same freaking country, but it's a different place. It's just was such a different way of thinking. And I'm sure when people in Illinois went over to Indiana, they were like, oh, my God, it's a free country of Indiana here.
Probably.
That is nuts. So y'all start hunting season, and then what? Do y'all have an early teal season there?
No early teal here. For us, we actually just had archery for deer opened up this past weekend, I believe. So we got guys out here hunting in 105 degree temperatures. It's pretty wild.
Oh,
it's brutal. It's brutal. My season, so like I said, I'm mainly a wing shooter. So my season starts September with dove season that kicks off, and then waterfowl opens up about mid-October, and it runs through mid-February, late February for late goose season. So it's a pretty good long season.
Deer hunting right now?
It's wild, dude. It's wild.
You would have to gut that thing in like record time.
Oh, dude, it's nuts. This past weekend, let's see. Today got a high of 102.
Oh my God.
This past weekend, the high was 105, and that was the opener. And I've got pictures of some of the guys from the Hunt Bums community posting pictures of themselves out there in A zone. And it's 105, and they got this giant freaking buck they're gutting out. It's nuts, man.
So are they? Because like a while back, you were talking about like how far you got to walk on some of these places. Are these guys walking in to do that, and then they shoot the deer? They got to gut the fucking thing, and then they got to walk back out in 105 degree heat.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Count me out.
Brutal, man. It's brutal.
What's that? What's the allure of this? Just that nobody else is doing it?
I mean, a lot of these guys is just, especially for these early season archery hunters. I mean, these guys just like doing it. That they really got hooked, and they got hooked deep and hard.
Mm.
And this is what makes them tick. They go after it. You know, some of these Facebook groups that we've got for our deer hunting groups out here, these guys are hardcore. Like this is what they really love and what drives them, and they're not going to let the temperatures stop them. You know, like I said, we've got a good amount of hunters out here that they're willing to go the extra mile, and they're willing to do whatever it takes. And that's really proven with these early season deer guys. I mean, they do some crazy stuff. They're hiking in there, and they're going far and deep, and then they got to figure out how to get it all back out.
Call me a fair weather hunter. I'm out on that.
I'm not doing that shit either.
I'm not a big deer hunter though, so like that whole thing is missed on me. But even the because North Dakota has like a season in August. I don't really want to do that either. It's hot. Birds are all, you know, they roost here and then they go feed 100 yards from the place that they're at. So it's hot. Mosquitoes are bad. Just I'll wait for it to get cold. I got a lot of expensive shit in the closet that I want to wear.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. I didn't buy all that expensive shit just to do this in my shorts and t-shirts.
There you go. I mean, but that's even for our waterfowl guys out here. I mean, even October, the weather's so unpredictable. I've had seasons where the opener is middle of October, October 20th, let's say, and it's 102 degrees out. Back in the day, we're wearing neoprene waders, 10 mil waders, just absolutely soaking wet. You're swimming in your waders with your sweat because you're walking a mile and a half to get to where you're supposed to be going. So, I mean, California is unpredictable when it comes to weather stuff. So hunting in the hot, we're used to it out here. Myself, I'm not a huge fan of deer hunting in the heat, but so I give it up to the guys that are. You guys are killing it. Keep doing it. I'd rather wait till it's cold as well too. But I mean, you just don't know. California is a crapshoot for weather.
Yeah. Now
it's all nice. That's the problem.
Y'all have a big specklebelly limit too, don't you? What's your spec limit?
I think we're at, what are we at for specs? I want to say it's 10 or 20, 1, 2.
Yeah, I thought it was. I was going to say 10.
Yeah, it's big. I want to say it's 10 as well. It's big. It's a big number. And we get a lot of them, especially where I'm at in the Central Valley. I shoot a shit ton of specs, man. Tons of specs. I shoot a lot of snow geese, but also a fair amount of specs.
Trying to find it right
10
here.
10 specs a day. Wow. That's crazy.
I'm looking. I wanted to say 10, but I didn't want to step off and
No, I think that is right.
eat it.
One guy told me in Wyoming or Idaho, they have a 10-man spec limit, but he said, we don't ever have no specs where they're at. He said, so they can make it 100. That's kind of like here. You can make the snow goose limit 1,000 a day per person. It wouldn't make no difference. I mean, I think the most we've ever killed in a day is like 20.
It is. This says 10 dark geese. Only 2 can be Canadas. You can only have 2 large Canadas. So 10 dark geese a day.
Yep.
And 20 white. So your daily bag limit is 30. And you said y'all are getting more and more snows every year. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's you check out some of the stuff that I posted on Hunt Bums of some of these snow geese, man. Like it's just, the sky is just full of them, And you get on these grinds, you can see where these grinds are coming down at, and it's just the whole field is white. It is absolutely white. There's just so many snow geese in the valley. It's insane.
And it wasn't like that a long time ago, or when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, no. I mean, when I was a kid, being able to go goose hunting was a rare occasion. Now it's like, what are we going for today, boys? We're going to bring out some silos. We're going to bring out some floaters. What do you want to do? It's just the geese are everywhere, man. They're everywhere. And it's got its plus and its minuses. I mean, you see a lot more guys converting they're going from ducks to geese. So that's fun to see and watch them get some new experience. But you also have the geese that are pressing the ducks out of the valley. They're eating everything up. And they're competing for resting spots and whatnot. So it's a balance, but definitely the past 10 years, we've got a shit ton more geese coming in here.
Yeah, specs are doing well everywhere, I think. Like, especially here, Arkansas, they're seeing a bunch of them. Specs are doing really, really good, which is good for us because we get a lot of specs. So,
sure.
And like we've always primarily been a goose establishment, so as long as I got geese to shoot at, I'm fine. But that's
for sure.
And they're running the ducks out just because they're eating all the resources.
There's just the pressure. I mean, there's literally so many geese that even these flooded rice fields. I mean, there's no place for the ducks to land at. There's
Mm.
just so many geese. It's insane. I've got a good buddy of mine that lives out in Idaho in the Boise area. He writes for Hunt Bums, and he's mainly a goose hunter. And like that's his thing. Like he loves it. That's his whole purpose is goose hunting. I'm bringing him out here, and all he wants to do is shoot a spoonie. It's just like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, we've got tons of those. But then he comes out, people come out here and they're like, okay, you've got a great diverse amount of ducks, but holy shit, look at how many geese you guys have too. So even these guys that are like big, hard goose hunters from across the United States, they come out to California and they're like, Jesus Christ, you guys have a lot of geese out here. And it's like, yeah, we've got a lot of geese. We also have a lot of ducks. So it's kind of one of those, like, people just don't expect it. It's a hidden secret to a certain degree, and people just don't expect California to have such diversity, but also such numbers
Right.
of species.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just what everybody that we've talked to from California is like, we got everything. It's a great state, except for the politics.
Exactly. Except for the politics.
Did you ever have a moment where you were like, well, you got to get out of here?
Every day, brother. Every day.
Oh, really?
I mean, I think, oh yeah. I mean, like I said, born and raised native Californian, been here my entire life. I love every aspect of our state, except for the politics and the bureaucracy. I've got kids that are in school here. I've got my wife has family here that she's very close with. So leaving California is difficult from that perspective. That is trying to get her on board. She's also a lifelong California girl, born and bred up here in Northern California, lived down in Los Angeles for a number of years. So she's got the full California experience. She's never lived anywhere else, so it scares her to move. Plus the family ties. So I mean, it's difficult. But trust me, we have the conversation like every day. It's like, okay, is this the last straw? What's it going to take? What's it going to be for us to get out of here? Like, what do we have to do to us to leave? As a Californian, obviously everyone loves our weather here, and that's one of the biggest issues that we have is leaving the weather we have. I was back east in Tennessee 2 weeks ago during one of their heat waves, and I'd never been to Tennessee before. I went to Nashville for a conference, and I stepped out of the airport, and I've experienced humidity to a certain degree, but it was like being hit in the face with a wet towel, like a warm wet towel, and like you felt like you were drowning. And it was just like, holy shit! Like we just don't have that type of heat or humidity in California. It's just ridiculous. So the idea and the thought of losing the climate that we have access to here and that we're experienced with, I know it makes me sound like a bitch, but I don't care. Losing the great weather and all that whatnot, and going somewhere else and having to deal with the humidity or the warm summers or the crazy amounts of snow. It's scary for Californians because we just don't have that experience, and we've been so spoiled in the ecosystem and the climate we've grown up in. So my wife is just like, I don't know if I could do it. I'll be honest, I don't know if I could do it. So every day we talk about where we would go. We're looking at places like Nevada and Arizona. We want to stay in the West. Mexican food's a huge thing for us. So Nevada and Arizona are close enough to California. You've got good Mexican food.
There you go.
But yeah, every day is a debate about when and where we should go and what the last straw is going to be for California to make us leave.
What about Idaho?
Which is sad, but
are there too many people in
Idaho's
Idaho
cool.
now?
There's too many Californians in Idaho.
Right.
And my good buddy Jason, who lives in Idaho, in Nampa, Boise area, he's like, yeah, man, Idaho, I would love to have you out here. And he's always trying to get me to move to Idaho. Like every single day I talk to him, he's like, so when you come into Idaho, he's texting my wife listings on Zillow and on homes.com for houses in Nampa area, trying to get us both to come there. But there's so many Californians there. And I think that the stigma of Californians moving into Idaho in such mass droves, raising the price of their homes and their market, Californians don't necessarily have the best reputation. So it's like one of those places where like you literally have to take your license plate off as soon as you cross the state line so they don't fuck with you.
Yeah. Mexican food. That's the deal breaker, huh?
That's a deal breaker, man. That's a deal breaker. You got to get those good burritos and good carne asada fries.
You can get that everywhere nowadays, though.
Yeah, but
I ate Mexican food.
California quality.
I ate Mexican food in Maine this week, and we have good Mexican food in Texas. And it was damn good Mexican food. But I told one of the guys with us, I said, it's not like it was 30 years ago. There are groups of Mexicans and South Americans every city you go, every part of the country you go to now, and so they've brought their home cooking in. So it was very, very good. But I was like, we're gonna eat Mexican food in Maine, and it was great.
I had some Mexican food in Tennessee. It was not great. I'll tell you that much.
I'm just not a Mexican food fan. In and Out, I'm with you on. Mexican food, no.
Well, In and Out's leaving California. They're heading to Franklin, Tennessee for their headquarters. You guys might get it back there.
We
have them in Texas now.
We've got In and Out here.
I'm not a big In and Out guy.
Perfect.
It's not bad. I just not a big.
It's very good.
Whataburger sucks anymore too. So
In and Out.
See, I've never had a Whataburger before.
It used to be good before they got bought by the Yankees. It's not the same company it was when it was a greasy Texas hamburger joint.
I will say, have you ever had a Culver's burger?
No, I've not. I've seen them in Arizona, but I've never had one before.
They're good.
Culver's is really, really good. And then I would put In and Out. And then after that, it's just
Really?
Freddy's Steak and Shake is good.
Freddy's Steak and Shake is really good. I like In and Out though. I like the animal style fries.
Oh, yeah?
It's my jam. Whenever we land in Dallas, Fort Worth, and on our drive home, we stop at In and Out. That's how we wrap up a family vacation with In and Out burger.
In and Out's great. Do you guys have Shake Shack out there?
Yep.
They're making their fries now in beef tallow. Now.
I tried it.
They taste the same.
Tastes the same.
I wondered,
but it's healthier for you.
Well, there you go.
You're getting the seed oil away. But I was expecting this magical experience. The fries are done in beef tallow. I don't know what I was expecting, but it did not meet my expectations.
McDonald's fries are different now than they were when I was a kid. When I was a kid, they cooked them in beef tallow.
Yeah,
but they put 500 pounds of salt on them when I was a kid, too, and they don't do that no more. And that's a big difference. You had to have a drink with your fries because they were so damn salty.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
They were selling Cokes and fries that way.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have, there's not, Buc-ee's are not in California yet, are they?
No, not yet. I've heard, I've seen stuff on social media about Buc-ee's. I've heard such great things. I've never experienced one. I'm hell-bent on the next place I go to that has a Buc-ee's. I'm definitely going to go check it out because it looks amazing.
It's an amazing. We stopped. We landed Friday night. It was 10 o'clock at night almost, and I went in there and got a barbecue sandwich. They have great barbecue sandwiches. I love their barbecue sandwiches.
Nice.
But you can buy every freaking thing in there. You can buy everything but a car.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy coolers, cups, things to eat, suntan lotion, condoms, bathing suits, ices, Slurpees, Boudin. I mean, everything. They got a beef jerky wall that's bigger than most stores. But
That's amazing.
And it's wall-to-wall people. I've never been in one that wasn't busy. They got 200 gas pumps, and sometimes you have to wait to get a gas pump. 200 people buying gas at a time.
That's wild.
It's just crazy. And they pay their employees good. I think they had a sign now that their general manager makes $225,000 a year.
Good for them. That's awesome.
They pay good. They work good. Great company. But I noticed they're getting to be more and more of them, but I haven't seen any go. I think the furthest west one now is Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they are cool. They're a good deal. I think Abilene's getting one now. I think west of town or east of town.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, dude. So listen, you got a lot going on. So what do y'all do? Like just throughout hunting season, you get hunting blogs and then you get gear reviews. Like what's kind of, do y'all have like a set schedule of articles that you release, or how does it work?
For us, it's kind of just fluid. So, we'll find some gear that we want to identify for reviews for the season, and my guys and I will purchase that gear up front, and we'll set out an editorial calendar. During hunting season, we're trying to do at least a minimum of 1 and 2 blog posts per week. So the blog post could be a gear review, it could be some insights from a recent hunt, it could be some tips and tricks or advice. So, editorial wise, we're not super locked into our calendar, but we try and plan out as far as we can things you can expect from us this year. We've got some pretty cool deals in the works with some of the larger hunting brands. Got some stuff lined up with Browning. We do stuff with QU a lot. Alps Outdoors has been great for us. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works for brand deals, for reviews, and just making sure that people know about all these awesome products that are coming out. But yeah, I mean, our whole goal is to try and stay as consistent with our posting as possible. But also, one thing we don't want to lose sight of is that get out there and experience it. Like, experience hunting. Make sure that you're living in the moment. You're not just doing it for social media or for internet fame or for internet awareness, that you're actually enjoying what you're doing. So, like I said, we're very fluid with our content schedules. I don't hold my guys to a certain, calendar per se, but I just want to make sure that we're all out there enjoying it and loving it and not losing sight of why we're doing this. We want to build the awareness of it all and make sure that people continue on with the heritage and the enjoyment of hunting.
Right. It's badass, man. Badass. Yeah. Everybody check them out. Check them out. Hunt Bums, Instagram. Like what's the easiest? So you got a website, obviously. So just go there for all your blog postings.
Yeah. Go to huntbums.com for all the blog posts. All of our socials is at huntbums. So, pretty simple across the board.
Very good. All right, my man. Well, you be safe out there in California. I wish you all the best this coming hunting season, and keep up the good work with Hunt Bums.
Thanks, guys. I may expect to get a phone call from you guys when we make it out here. Get some ducks, ducks and geese.
Casey, have a good day. God bless you, my friend. Have a great year and be safe.
Take care, guys. Thank again.
You.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Casey Hartwell at Hunt Bums. Anyways, we appreciate y'all very much. Come out to Squad Fest. Come by and say hi to me. Anything else too? Oh, we're having our 1,000th episode giveaway. You need to go to Instagram, jstanfield68 or at Andy_Shaver. Is that right?
It is.
And check us out. We have all kinds of giveaways going. We're giving away a 4-man 3-day goose, crane, and duck hunt. There are cases of the new Boss War Chief shells that will be in there. There are boots from Shin Gear. There is a watch from Hook and Gaff. Cedar Run Decoys is Give a Decoy. Pacific Calls has got a 1,000th episode call that's going to be coming out on the market soon. So we will be giving away and doing the drawing at Ducks Unlimited, and there will be a Ducks Unlimited neon sign there. So we'll be at Ducks Unlimited. We will be drawing that, but all you got to do is go to my Instagram, go to the post, and it shows Andy actually sitting at a table, and it's got the details there. What you need to do, all you got to do is follow Andy, follow me, and put your stuff under there. If you get a picture of me and Andy, a selfie with us the next 3 weeks, you get an extra entry. The max entries you could have is 5 entries. We will draw for that. So cool. Really cool giveaway, and check that out at jstanfield68 or at Andy_Shaver on Instagram. Thank you. God bless you.
Watch for deer.
Bye.
Check out all of our great sponsors. Dive Bomb Squad Fest is coming up this weekend. Make sure if you're in the St. Louis area, go out there. Pacific Calls, use our promo code BHP25. Boss Shot Shells, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, Mallard Bay, and Mitchell Chevrolet.